In Pakistan, we had all these facilities available in the past, and even today, in some forms, it exists. When we are talking about policy, the policy related not only the what goods should be manufactured. The policy, when we talk policy, policy means human resource development, skill development, knowledge transfer, plus, as Mr. 𝗠𝗏 mentioned regarding the internship or training engineers scheme, these all were available in Pakistan on the paper now. But if we go 30 years ago, all these trainings were available by the industry. Even today, there is a apprenticeship scheme, 1962, law exists. Every industry should hire this is a very good scheme if it is implemented, to have a skilled manpower development, which can increase like the job of OEM, which Mr. Tahir Salim mentioned. The maintenance technicians is more required than the maintenance engineer, because engineering is when we talk graduate or undergraduate program, we are talking above all this, who has a concept of R&D, who can design, who can execute the order. So the policy in all shape is required, whether it is a government of Pakistan or State Bank of Pakistan or Export Promotion Bureau, TDP, whatever may be. Make in Pakistan can, as Mr. 𝗠𝗏 mentioned, of the Thailand, even in India in early 60s, I was going through an article during Nehru's time. They put a condition that every industry has to make minimum 10 to 15% of their revenue through export. And I am just sharing you one very funny information. In Siemens India, in 1964, they had not enough exported the electrical products. To meet that condition, they exported rice from India to Germany. So we should also bring a policy like the finance minister once says, we are going to put condition of 10% of export by all industries. Maybe it may be a good beginning, let the policy come. But we have to reduce our foreign exchange requirement in all shape. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishtiaq साहब.
मुस्तकबिल ही मेक इन पाकिस्तान का है, इसके अलावा है ही नहीं. अगर आपको मुस्तकबिल चाहिए तो गो फॉर दैट.
इरफान साहब कह रहे हैं देयर इज जस्ट नो चॉइस, हमारे पास कोई और वो नहीं है. जी सलमान.
इरफान साहब ने ही बोला था कि व्हाट नीड्स टू बी मेड शुड बी अप्रोप्रिएट, राइट? अभी आपने उसी को शॉट डाउन कर दिया बाय सेइंग कि लिथियम बैटरी नहीं बना सकते या नहीं बनाना चाहिए, जबकि दैट इज द इजीएस्ट वे आउट. You don't need to go into cell research. You buy the cells, you assemble them, the BMS is made here, we make them, we can make it. The entire structure, steel, उसका 80% value add यहाँ हो सकता है सिवाय सेल के. वो next step है. Just like the PV panel बनाओ, सेल खरीदो, फिर next step में सेल बनाओ. ठीक है? So unless you have the will, then the policy, then everything follows through with it. Then the economic and the trade takes over. One more question, sir. Siemens. आपने कहा Siemens बंद हो गया, Chinese आ गए. Siemens की वो टेक्नोलॉजी, वो टेक्निक पाकिस्तान में क्यों नहीं रह गई? Why didn't somebody else buy it? Why didn't they start manufacturing those transformers which Siemens left and took with them the technology? वो कहाँ गया?
Siemens की टेक्नोलॉजी भी है, बंदे भी हैं, काम भी कर रहे हैं. अब अल-सवेदी के नाम से है, पहले वलीदस के नाम से थी. टेक्नोलॉजी Siemens ही की है. लेकिन ये टेक्नोलॉजी तो बड़ी कॉमन है, ट्रांसफार्मर्स तो और बहुत लोग बना रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान में 9-10 कंपनियां हैं जो ट्रांसफार्मर्स बना रही हैं। अब ये पावर ट्रांसफार्मर सिर्फ पेल बना रही है, ये भी बनाएंगे अल सवेदी वाले, और महमूद साहब की HEC भी बनाएगी इंशाल्लाह। तो लेकिन जो बात आप कह रहे थे बैटरीज़ के हवाले से, लिथियम आयन बैटरीज़ के 4 वेंडर्स होते हैं मेन। शेल यहाँ बन सकते हैं पाकिस्तान में, लेकिन जब तक आप वो पॉलिसी को चेंज करके उनको यहाँ बनाएंगे, उसमें सेफ्टी भी पॉलिसी बड़ी ज़रूरी है। तो उस वक़्त ये आउटडेटेड हो चुकी होगी लिथियम आयन बैटरी, आपको अगली बैटरी की तरफ जाना है, ठीक है। और वो अभी आ चुकी हैं मार्केट में, कम हैं कमर्शियली। ओह सॉरी, so these lithium ion batteries are not that easy to make. You know, we have talked to people who are making lithium ion batteries in China. These are Pakistani Americans. They've got factories. Now they've closed them down because of certain other reasons. So they came here, surveyed the market, and they said, well, Pakistan is still not ready to make lithium ion batteries here. They wanted to relocate their factory from China to Pakistan. But Pakistanis are not ready to accept those things. That is also an issue. क्योंकि this thing I'll say in Urdu, कि जहाँ भी वो जाते थे उनसे लोग यही कहते थे कि इसमें मेरा क्या है, ठीक है। तो इस वजह से मैं जो रिसर्च करनी है वो इससे नेक्स्ट स्टेप की करनी है। मैं यूनिवर्सिटीज़ को कह रहा था कि आप जो रिसर्च करें वो अगले स्टेप की करें, और देखें मार्केट में नेक्स्ट ईयर्स में कौन सी बैटरीज आएंगी जिनकी डेंसिटी ज़्यादा हो, जिनकी कॉस्ट कम हो, स्टोरेज डेंसिटी।
Thank you, Irfan Saab. I think, Salman, you can take up further discussion during the lunch hour. During the lunch hour, I think we are near to the end of this session, and we need to conclude it. And so, what we discuss is that policies at all levels. I think whosoever has questions, they can discuss with the respective people during the lunch break, because we are running out of time. So I'm sorry. Then we have another question. We have 2 questions then. We have another question at the back. Okay, please.
My name is Engineer Abdul Rahim. I'm a local council member of IEEEP, Institute of Engineers of Pakistan, and Vice Chairman, Industrial Division. And I will next first panelist, Mr. 𝗜𝗡 𝗜𝗡, for the HS code at 85 and 84, because which are restricted. You know, if there is no spare part, no machinery can run, and no industry can run. So it is essential to have this thing. Now, who will address this to government? Either IEEP or PEC. You know, we can jointly work, and I invite you to please come over and in IEP, and we can arrange a seminar and address to government and State Bank. Please, if you can do.
Irfan Saab, would you please be concise? We're running out of time.
All the stakeholders, including Federation Chamber of Commerce, Karachi Chamber of Commerce, Site Association, Korangi Association, all big leaders have written to Government of Pakistan. They have published an appeal on the front page of the newspapers to withdraw this. But government, as yesterday Mr. 𝗠𝗔𝗞𝗘 𝗜𝗡, the Minister for Energy and Power, mentioned, this will be revised as soon as we receive the tranche from the IMF. So we hope for the best. Our point of discussion was that we take a decision in a very haste, without considering where we are going to be putting loss.
Thank you, 𝗜𝗡. One last question at the back, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sani Raza. I belong to the steel trading.
Please keep the mic near to your mouth.
I belong to a steel trading family. My experiences in the steel trading has been like few years ago, like around 20 years back, China was nowhere in the steel sector. Japan did the majority of the steel production of the world. Japan was high-tech. Then Japan changed its preferences. China took over. There was, I think there were 1 or 2 steel mills in China around 20 years back. Now China produces 60% of the global steel production. So much that economies of the world are putting anti-dumping duties on China. Okay. Few years back, China decided that it has to restructure the steel sector because mostly, there is thinking about China that China only produces low-end products. China decided to do that it went to it restructured its sector towards high tech. Look at the Malaysian economy, where it was in the pre-Mahathir era. They decided to restructure the economy. They identified that those sectors which will be the backbone of their economy. We should learn from these economies. We should learn from China. We should learn from Russia, our distinguished guest over here. We should learn from the success of the ASEAN countries. We should not think in a way that in a closed environment. No country can grow in a closed environment. Now the international laws of the WTO, everything, you can't put trade restrictions. You have to be part of the global trade community. You have to be part of the global banking community. Grow your resources, grow your human resources. If an engineer in America and Pakistani doctor can produce marvels, why can't the doctor over here can do? It's only a difference between the environment. It's only a difference between how importance we give to our education, to our growth. Thank you very much.
Yes.
We should learn from everybody. From some we learn how to do a job. From the others we learn how not to do a job. After having said that, सिर्फ एक शेर मैं पढ़ूंगा, वो उर्दू में है. हमारे लिए निशान राह दिखाते थे जो सितारों को, तरस गए हैं किसी मर्द राहदां के लिए. हमारा ये हाल है. अब हमें सिर्फ सीखना ही है. We have to learn only. अब हम किसी को सिखाने के काबिल नहीं रहे. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So concluding this session, we have the recommendations that policies at all levels are very important, whether they're government level, economic policies, or policies regarding different disciplines and technologies. But somebody has to decide what is the competitive advantage of our country and set up the priorities. The inputs, somebody has to decide the inputs that we have available and what inputs we need in human resource, in raw materials, so that what are the products that we can make efficiently and better than others. So somebody has to do it and government has to take the lead. IEEEP definitely has a role to play, and IEEEP should be following up with various ministries and departments of governments at all levels. And for that, it is requested that different groups, specialist groups may be formed for different sectors of the economy. And the President IEEEP here, IEEEP, Dr. 𝗠𝗔𝗞𝗘 𝗜𝗡 is here, and he has been active listener to all this discussion. The inputs from the organizers, from the participants have been that we should be learning from other countries. Of course, that is the case. When we talk about China, they started with developing their basic industries and basic technologies, and then they opened up their markets, and so did India. We should be learning from them that government should give protection to the industries so that they can thrive. To add to all this, I must say that Made in Pakistan should be promoted in the public sector to create markets for the products made in Pakistan. My humble suggestion is that it should be made mandatory for all public sectors to first of all source products that are being made in Pakistan through EDB, and they should be made to purchase those to create markets for the nascent industry. And once they have ample revenues, they can flow back, because innovation development is an effort which is time consuming and is financially challenging. So once the public sector is a buyer for locally produced products, I think that will generate enough revenue for the companies in Pakistan to improve their products and come to the level where they can be exported. So with these concluding remarks, I am going to hand over the mic to the Honorary Secretary, IEEEP Engineer Monet Siddiqui, with the conveying my appreciation to all the panelists for taking time out and being with us. It was a very fruitful discussion, as well as all the listeners here and participants. The questions were excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Navi Saab, and thank you very much all. I think this is the topic which can never be covered in 1 or 2 hours. It requires a lot of deliberation, deep thinking, brainstorming, and then rationalizing all the thoughts and communicating it properly to the concerned authorities. However, we have a very fruitful discussions, and thank you all the panelists, and thank you Naveed Saab for wrapping up it in a very proper way, and special thanks to all our guests from the industry, from the academia, from the diplomatic missions. And now I would request the President IEEEP, Engineer 𝗠𝗏 𝗔𝗡 Saab, to please come to the stage to award the mementos to our distinguished panelists and the moderator. 𝗠𝗏 𝗔𝗡 Saab. On behalf of IEEEP Karachi Center and Badar Expo Solution, thank you very much for your participation.